What up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. It's your guy, something. Hit the keys. And in today's video, we're going to talk about why you need to do more. Make sure if you guys do like this content, though, you drop a whole elbow on that like button, hit subscribe and that notification bell so every time we bring you guys a new video, you can be the first to see. But with no further delay, let's get right into the video. Something, hit the key. All right, guys, so I know you saw the title of the video, and after the intro, you're probably thinking, what do you mean I need to do more? I already do enough. Well, what I mean by that is every single musician who does this wants to be the next best guitar player or the next best singer or the next best rapper, drummer, producer, etc., whatever it is that you do in this music. So what I mean by you should do more is maybe you should try putting on more than one cap. So if you are a nice beat maker, maybe you should learn how to engineer a little bit, because we always hear the term right time, right place, or right place, right time. So somebody got an opportunity because they were in the right place at the right time, but we don't know how they ended up in that right place at the right time. So a lot of times people end up at the right place because they've learned multiple things. So I'm going to give you guys a little bit of a story, short story about myself. So for me, I started out rapping, and that's all I wanted to do. All I wanted to do was rap. So I know a lot of people on the channel may not even realize that I do rap. I'm definitely a rapper and all that other stuff. But I had to learn how to make beats, because when I started music, it's not the same as now. Not everybody had access to DAWs and all that other stuff. Like, people were still making beats and motifs and phantoms, and that's how you got your beat. You got your beat out of a standalone piece of equipment. So since people were making beats and standalone equipment back then, everybody was trying to charge somewhere between $200 to $700 for every single beat. So that's not feasible when you're a 17, 18-year-old kid to pay that much money for beats. So eventually DAWs and all that stuff started coming out, and I taught myself how to make beats because I didn't want to pay $200, $300, $400 for a beat. So I did that for a little bit until I started making more money. So then once I started making more money, I didn't necessarily have to make my own beats because I had more money and I could pay for beats, but I still had that skill and I could always use that skill. So fast forward a little bit, now it's at a point where I used to be in a group. So while all this was going on, I was in a group. Well, the group dissolved and now I'm on my own. So now I got to engineer my own music, or I got to pay somebody else to engineer my own music. So basically, I learned how to mix, I learned how to master, I learned how to make beats, I learned how to DJ a little bit. I learned how to do everything that I could do in music because I didn't have the money to spend in order to put out albums. So then I got good enough to be able to put out music to release and to sell and all that other stuff. So now I'm starting to do more shows and all this other stuff. So now I'm doing shows, and I'm continuing the story, and I keep telling you this because I'm still picking up more hats. So now I'm doing more shows, and the shows that I was consistently doing, there was an issue with the person who was hosting the show. So since I was good and I had stepped in and been a host there a couple of times and they knew me, they asked me if I wanted to be the host of these shows. So I didn't really want to do the hosting job, but I did it because I knew it would get me more exposure. So ultimately, we work shows. So now it built me up a little bit of a reputation. So now I was able to stand alone by myself, and I was able to go to other bars, and I was able to get other bars to let me do shows in their venues and their locations, because I could go to that bar and be like, well, I've already thrown, 100 shows. We don't have any fights at our shows. We don't have anything happen at the shows. Police don't show up. And then I could show them, we have 100 to 200 people coming to every single show. We can show them the receipts, the bar receipts on the bar tabs, and how much money we made the bar each time we did a show. And now I have all this backlog. So now I've started off by only being a rapper, but now I've turned into a rapper, a producer. I've turned into a host. I've turned into a promoter. And so I kept honing my skills. So now I'm starting to find myself in the right places at the right times. I'm rubbing elbows with all these people. So now fast forward a couple of years, now when I get to Atlanta. So now I moved to Atlanta and I have to figure out what I want to do with music. So before this point, I had told myself I will do anything in music. I don't care what it is. Because a lot of times we put ourselves in a box and we tell ourselves, well, I want to be a rapper. So since I want to be a rapper, that's all I'm going to focus on. So me allowing myself to broaden my horizons and focus on more things allowed me to find more things in this music that I like. Because what we have to realize is there's so many jobs in music. If you just love music, you should be content with a job in music, you know, a secondary plan. You know, you can be anything from an artist in a band, any kind of genre. You can be A&R, you can be you can be a CEO of a record label. You can be so much stuff, a sound guy, you can be an engineer, you can be so much. And there's different parts of an engineer you can be: mix, master, just vocals. You could be somebody who only arranges beats. I mean, you can do sync licensing. There's so many things that you guys can do in music that if you expand your horizons, you might be able to find yourself into some of these places. So now fast forward back to getting to Atlanta. So now I'm here and I'd wanted to be here for so long. So I had to figure out, what am I going to do in this music to make it work? I'm old. So it's like, I'm not going to be a famous rapper anymore, no matter how good I am, because it's not a good investment for a record label. But I still want to do music. So what am I going to do? So I was writing for people. I was starting to produce for people. I was starting to sell beats. I was starting to do all kinds of different stuff. So then I'm watching YouTube. And as I'm watching YouTube and I'm watching the Ed Talentis grow, and I'm watching the Simon Servitas grow, and I'm watching my guy Av grow, and the Busy Works and the Curtis Kings and all them grow, I'm like, I could do this. So although I may not be as dope as a producer as Simon Servita, I'm still pretty dope in a lot of other areas as well. And I still have a lot I could bring to the platform. So I figured I might as well try this YouTube thing out and see what it's all about. So I started doing YouTube. It was a little bit difficult at first, but with the whole point of this video, I needed to do more. I wasn't putting out enough content. So I was only putting out a piece of content once every 7 to 9 days. I wasn't necessarily consistent with uploads and all that other stuff. So I needed to do more. So once I recognized that I needed to do more, about 6 months into my first year on YouTube, that's when everything took off for me. And so I say all this to say this: I enjoy doing YouTube more than any part of music that I've done in my life other than recording. I do still love recording, rapping, but I like YouTube. I like making YouTube videos more than I like writing raps. I like making YouTube videos more than I like mixing, mastering music, all that other stuff. And if I didn't do more, I would have never stumbled into YouTube. Like, I sincerely like this. I love the process. I love all this. I love being able to build a community. I love being able to work with you guys. I love everything that we do on the channel. I sincerely love. And I say all this, it may have been a long, drawn out story, but I say all this, doing more put me here. And this whole situation with YouTube has ultimately changed my life. So I don't think you guys understand why I'm telling you all this stuff, because I want you guys to be able to have life-changing moments too. I want to see everybody win. So one last thing that I want to hit hard on this do more is, we do a lot of things in this world to distract us. So we're always on our phones all the time. We play video games, we watch sports, we binge watch Netflix. We do all this stuff that takes time away from us creating. Like, most of you guys probably have jobs. So you're probably working 30 to 40 hours a week. A lot of you guys have families, you have kids, you have all this other stuff. And when you guys have free time, instead of just working on music and not doing anything else, you might want to spend an hour playing video games. Well, that hour you would have put in music would have been more productive for you and your goals of getting to where you want to get to. So again, when I say do more, look, I may not be the best rapper in the world. I may not be the best producer in the world. I may not be the best engineer. I may not make the best videos. I may not do the best editing. I may not do any of that stuff. But ain't nobody working harder than me. Nobody's going to put in more work than me. Nobody's going to stream. Nobody's going to be, nobody's going to put in more work than me. There may be people who put in the same amount of work as me, but there ain't nobody putting in more work than me. And that's why the channel is growing, is because I realize I have to do more, and doing more means more content, more streams, more ways to engage with you guys. So I just wanted to put this video out. I've been wanting to do this video actually for a while. I'm feeling a little more comfortable doing like these talking head videos where it's just giving advice. If this is something that you guys like, let me know below. Cause I got a lot of different topics that I like to talk about, that I feel like they could sincerely help you guys, not just like me just talking to get views, like stuff that can sincerely help you guys, just things, a different perspective and a different look on things. So make sure if you guys like this content though, you drop a whole elbow on that like button, hit subscribe and that notification bell so every time I bring you guys a new video, you can be the first to see. Appreciate you guys' time as always, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.
All right, guys and gals, thanks for watching the video. Make sure you hit the subscribe and like button. Make sure you hit that notification bell so every time a new video comes out, you can be the first to know. Let me know what tutorials you want to see next in the comments, and see you next time.
Some, hit the key.